Hi everyone, today we are going to be creating a work of art inspired by this work of art by a British artist named Bridget Riley. She specialized in optical illusions, and so we are going to create our own optical illusions using line, and we're going to try to trick the eye that there are some lines popping up off of our paper out of a box that we create. So we're going to be creating a square and then some lines, and we will use shading to make it look like those lines are popping off of the paper. I'm going to make a small version, but you're going to be making a normal version. So you'll have two pieces of paper, and what we're going to do is with one piece of paper we're going to make our square. I'm going to take the corner, and instead of making a normal square like this, I'm going to bring it back just a little bit so it's smaller. I'm going to try to keep this even. So I folded it to make a triangle, and I'm just going to go ahead and trace that. So when I open it, I can make sure that looks pretty good. And it's okay if it ends up looking like a rectangle. That's no big deal. So I'm going to cut out my square or rectangle. And here where I folded my paper, I'm going to choose a type of line. Now I'm going to be cutting this, so I don't want to make it super ziggy-zag or have a whole bunch of little things that I have to cut. So a simple wavy line or a simple zigzag line or a castle line, like I call a line that goes like this, that doesn't have too much going on would be okay. I'm just going to use a wavy line. So starting from one corner and going to the other, I'm going to make a simple line, and I am going to spread it out more as I get to the bottom. Okay, so once I get my line, I'm going to label these bottom and top because these are going to fit together like a puzzle piece. Now what I'm going to do is take my square, move it over to the other paper, and I might tilt it a little bit, however you want to do it. I'm going to tilt mine kind of near the middle, and I'm going to trace it. Now we will be erasing part of this, and I probably just drew it a little bit too dark. So draw that kind of light. I did mine too dark probably. Now I'm going to cut this line, and it does not matter if I make a mistake. I'm going to keep going. Don't go back and fix it if you make a mistake. So I didn't cut it exactly, but it's fine. What I'm going to do now is line up this right here inside of my box, and I'm going to trace it. I am going to trace this either 6 times or 8 times. It needs to be an even number of times, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to keep this lined up with the corner right here, and I'm just going to tilt it a little bit. So this will be my second time tracing it. When I trace it, I am going to go out of the box. Okay, I'm going to keep going out of the box. I'm going to trace it a third time, still lining up in that corner, and I'm just tilting it a little bit. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3 times I've traced it. I'm going to trace it 3 more times. Now I'm going to take my top. The reason I kept the top is so I can see what I'm doing, so I can space them kind of evenly. So 1, 2, still just tilting it. And I might actually come back to this side with my bottom one to trace that 6th time, and it's okay if it goes off the paper. Okay, so I've traced it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Now what I'm going to do is close up these areas. And you can use any type of line that you want. I might have to erase mine since I'm making a smaller version. You could use a straight line, a zigzag line. I'm just going to use a straight line to close these up. So just connecting those. Those are the lines that are coming out of the box. So what I'm going to do is erase the box inside of those lines. Okay, so anywhere those cross the box, I will erase. Now at this time, I am going to trace this, what I have now, my 3 strips that look like they're popping out, I'm going to trace those with Sharpie. This is as far as most classes got on the first day of this project. So I'm going to show you the last steps. So we've made our curvy lines that are converging or meeting at that corner, or whatever type of line that you chose. And the next thing we're going to be making is kind of a checkerboard pattern. We're going to be drawing some curvy lines. Now, if you made a zigzag line for this, you'll kind of follow your zigzags, your points. But if you made a wavy line, it's pretty much anytime your line changes direction, you're going to be drawing a curvy line. So I'll show you. I'm going to start on the box and come all the way until I meet the end. I'm going to start in the box. I'm going to come all the way. When I hit the end of this box though, I'm going to stop and skip over and then come out. Okay, so if your line really does come out of the box, then you know, skip over that little area. Now I'm going to come here and come down. And it's up to you if you end up adding another extra line. So I will trace this with Sharpie too, once I'm sure I've drawn them correctly. And behind these lines that are popping up, I'm going to be making the black and white checkerboard. And so I'm going to be going just kind of a pattern. So up here, I'm going to do black in between. And below, I'm going to leave those white. I'm going to come down to this one and do black. And the reason that we're leaving white is because we are going to be adding shading to create a shadow, so it really does look like it's popping off. You can't really make a shadow over black because it's already so dark. Also, whenever I trace with Sharpie, I do want to go back and erase those pencil marks. So you might pause the video here to get your black and white checkers. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is create a pattern using markers or colored pencils. It's really up to you on these lines that are popping out. And I do like to use a darker color over the black and a lighter color over the white. It just helps to show light and then dark. Okay, so I might do, you know, red, orange, or something. And you can use either markers or colored pencils for that part. So I am going to go ahead and color these strips in a pattern. Okay, so I've got those colored, and the next thing I'm going to do is create the shadows that are underneath the colorful lines, so it looks like they're raised. So just in the white areas, I'm going to color with my regular pencil just on the edge, and then I'm going to take my finger and smudge it. So I'm following the curve, take my finger and smudge it, follow the curve. And for this I'm coloring pretty dark so I can create some dust from my pencil that I can really smudge. And hopefully you thought about this before, but I am going to be drawing a little drawing that's related to this, and I chose green because I'm going to do a creeper from Minecraft as my little image in the corner, like I did a Glue there and Pikachu there. So I've got my last shadow, and so then up here I'm going to be drawing my creeper. So whatever image is related to it, to your drawing, we're going to put in the corner there. So that will be the last step that we do. Alright, so I have finished my optical illusion where I was trying to make it look like I have a square and some lines popping off, and I related my color scheme back to my little image there. So hopefully you enjoyed creating your optical illusion that was inspired by the artist Bridget Riley.